Hey everyone, I'm Jade. As a certified Azure Network Engineer and working as a senior infrastructure engineer, today I want to show you what you need to know to pass the AZ700 Azure Network Engineer Associate examination in just a few minutes. So if you're ready to dive in deep, let's go. Section 1, Core Networking Infrastructure. This is the biggest chunk of the exam, around 30%. It starts with IP addressing, VNet design, and subnetting. When you design subnets in Azure, you are not just carving up IP addresses. You are planning for how every service talks to each other around the world. You will need to know how to size address spaces so they can scale, and when to split workloads into shared subnets, like multiple services that use the same subnet range, versus dedicated subnets, one service per subnet like Azure Firewall or VPN gateway. Name resolution is next. Azure DNS is simple until you use VNets to on-prem and across regions. You need to know when to use private DNS zones and link them to VNets versus setting up conditional forwarding with Azure DNS private resolver so on-premise and cloud services can see each other without manual host files. VNet connectivity is the last big piece here. Understand, VNet peering. It is basically a direct link between VNets, but watch out for transitive routes. You will need to understand this. Understand user-defined routes. Override Azure default system routes when you need custom traffic flow like forcing everything through a firewall. Understand network gateways versus forced tunneling. NAT hides private IPs behind one public IP for outbound traffic. Forced tunneling sends everything back on-prem for inspection. Section 2. Connectivity Services. This section covers VPN, ExpressRoutes, and Virtual WAN, which is 25% of your score. Site-to-site VPNs. Know the difference between a route-based and policy-based VPN. How to configure for high availability and how to apply custom IPsec policies for encryption and security. Point-to-site VPNs. Know the difference between the tunneling types like OpenVPN and SSTP. How to authenticate users using Entra ID or Radius, and what the setup looks like for always on VPN or the Azure Network adapter for client devices. For ExpressRoute, know your SKUs, your tiers, and connectivity models, private versus Microsoft peering, and options like FastPath, Global Reach, and encryption. Section 3. Application Delivery. You need to understand the key differences between Azure's traffic distribution services and when to use each. Azure Load Balancer, a layer 4 TCP UDP solution for distributing traffic within a region, typically used for internal or external virtual machine workloads. Azure Application Gateway, a layer 7 HTTP/HTTPS solution that supports URL-based routing, SSL termination, and web application firewalls, perfect for hosting secure web apps. Azure Front Door, a global edge-based service that provides low latency, high availability routing for internet-facing application. It also supports caching, SSL offloading, and traffic acceleration. Finally, Traffic Manager, a DNS-based traffic control service that routes users to the best performing or geographical endpoint that is ideal for distributing traffic across multiple regions or even hybrid setups. Section 4 and 5. Private Access and Security. Know when to use private endpoints versus service endpoints. and know how to practice setting up a private link with correct DNS integration. Know how to create and audit both network security groups and application security groups, and know the difference between them. Firewall. Know how to deploy a Azure Firewall, know the difference between DNets and SNets, and how to secure a hub in Virtual WAN. Conclusion. The AZ700 is scenario-based and focuses on design decisions, implementation, and diagnostic tools like Network Watcher and Defender. If this helped, drop a like and comment below if you are working on the AZ700 and if you have passed it. And that's it from me. I'm Jade Pass, and this is the Career Podcast.